Welcome to the Underground, my little underground with Peter A.
It's my little underground. I'm Peter A. First guest of 2026 is New York-based producer, content creator Marsanne, who just put out her first album, Stars We Don't See, on Bandcamp. And she talked about how video games, Tumblr, Nardwuar, and so much more inspired her. And it's really great to just have a nice, nerdy chat with somebody else who shares the love of music and video games. So please help me welcome the very talented and creative Marsanne to My Little Underground.
My little underground.
We had this conversation because a lot of your stuff, again, it's on socials, but I liked it so much. I'm like, did you ever consider just putting some of this stuff on a traditional
Sure, yeah.
album-like format, right? So what was your thought process going into this one? Like, why these select beats?
I think for a long time, a lot of the stuff that I was posting on social media just kind of felt more like they felt like exercises to me as opposed to complete projects that I was making like as an offering like of like music that people can listen to. I don't know. It always just kind of felt like practice. Especially because I don't know, I have always considered myself, or I always kind of looked at myself as like a novice as to opposed to like an actual musician. Someone who's learning as a hobbyist how to make music, and my content was kind of just a reflection of my progress and not just like I'm a musician and this is the music I make. It's more just like this is kind of just like where I'm at in my learning process right now. And that's kind of what I was offering people. And then it wasn't until last year when I started to really listen to my beats and feel like it actually was representative of a sound that it kind of felt like me as a musician. I would listen to some beats I made. I'm like, oh, this is actually like something I would listen to. You know what I mean? Like if I could hear the progress and I could hear that. Um, I don't know. It started to feel less like an exercise and more like I was making music that I really wanted to make. So I guess that's why I decided I should start dropping stuff.
I like what you said there. When
Mm,
you're hearing your music, you think that this is music that you can listen to.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I want to not get out of, but I want, like a lot of musicians that I talk to,
Mm,
I wish that they have that mentality. I like to think that they do,
sure. Yeah.
because there are some things that you may have heard, and I'm sure I know for sure that I've heard from certain artists. Like, there's no way you listen to this and you think that
Right.
there's no, like, would you listen to this? You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean? So
Hmm.
that when it comes to making music, like in a standard album format that you're going to release, it doesn't have to be
Hmm.
an album, just anything to share with the world. Like, what is your bar from something that is novice to sounding professional?
Um, I don't know if I can describe it sonically, but I do know for certain that the difference between like my beats, for example, that felt novice versus the ones that I've decided to share with the public is kind of like a feeling with absolute certainty that only I could have made this music. Like it feel like there's a kind of a sense of like pride and ownership that wasn't previously there. Um, and also like a sense that it like does reflect my like artistic identity, and it feels like unique to me, whereas other stuff maybe felt, I don't know, derivative or just like, maybe I was like trying to sound like a certain artist that I look up to, like it just didn't feel like it just wasn't quite there yet, like in terms of like artistic identity.
Yeah, yeah. The one thing I've noticed when you were sharing some of your stuff, on socials, lots of, video game centric
Mm,
inspiration, video game scores and all that. The one thing I thought it was really cool is you had the Sonic pinball.
Mm,
soundtrack. So
yeah.
what about that soundtrack like moved you?
I love digging through because that soundtrack is so funny in that it's a small game and there's only a very small amount of tracks on it. So I do like to go through those more obscure ones and just kind of look for like little tracks that, Sonic is such a standout series in terms of like its music.
Yeah.
Like each game has like such iconic tracks. That it's really easy for like the spinball, for example, to kind of like fall under the radar. Um, so I don't know, that one that I remember that track that I sampled just has a really like funky groove to it, and I'm like, wow, you would never expect to hear this from like a pinball game from so long ago, and I kind of
Yeah.
just like dug it out of there. Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
one.
Well, your ears are pretty like very very open to certain things like because me when I'm listening to as a just a general lover of music, just playing video games and hearing scores, that there are certain things that I hear, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like I get why a lot of people would go go to record stores and get video game scores, like
Yeah,
why the Zelda score is
if
so
only there were
popular.
more to be, to available in record stores. I feel like they're hard to come by. I
Yeah.
usually resort to like eBay.
What other scores do you have in your collection?
Let's see. I have Mega Man Legends 2 hanging up right now.
Yeah.
I have this Final Fantasy record. It's Final Fantasy 4, but
Yeah.
it's like a re-release of certain tracks on that OST where they like reorchestrated them with like a um full orchestra and they sound like really beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think. My friend just lent me Legend of Mana to sample. So I'm excited to go through that one because I never played it as a kid, but the composer, like she's done a lot of other great scores in video game history. So I'm really excited about that one. The one I'll tell you what I wish I had is Portal 2 on vinyl. It's so expensive.
Really?
Yeah, it's like $200. I remember when it first came out, I was like, I have to buy this, and it sold out so fast. Um, and Sonic Adventure. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the top of my wish list right now.
Like for Sonic Adventure specifically, like how do you play it? Do you have a Dreamcast? Like, I know
Oh,
it's available on so many different
oh
platforms.
my God, yeah, tell me about it. So I did play it on Dreamcast when I was a little kid. And then I got it the GameCube re-release, director's
Yeah.
cut.
Hmm.
Um, then I can't tell you how many times I've replayed the game, but I replayed it probably like 10 times on the GameCube, and then I bought it on Steam, which is also the director's cut. I think I also bought it on Xbox.
Oh
So
yeah.
I have it on like every platform. It's just like I never get tired of it.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as like other game scores, you
Mm,
mentioned Portal 2.
yeah.
What other video game scores that are kind of hard to come by or just are
Oh,
so valuable that you know of?
that I know of. Sheesh, I don't know. I was actually just the other day I was looking for I don't know the value of it or if it's hard to come by or anything, but I remember having Kingdom Hearts on CD as a kid. Um,
Whoa.
yeah, I don't know. I wonder if my mom must have like imported it from Japan or something because I don't even think it was like a CD release in America. But that might be one. If I couldn't find it, I was so upset.
Stars We Don't See, it's only on Bandcamp now, right?
Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and Nina Protocol.
Okay, okay. None of the traditional major platforms like Spotify, Apple Music,
No,
etc.
I'm not. I don't know. I don't know about streaming. Like putting my music on there. I'd rather just let people download it and let it live on their computers or their phones or um, just also because I still don't really feel like I don't. People have warned me against like publishing music in a very formal way where they're like you have to be like ready is like what I've been told. Like you have to be like at a certain place. Like people who have more experience than me and like more credentials in the music industry. And that's kind of like why I've shied away from releasing music for so long as well, is like they've kind of like made it to be this big thing where it's like your first song or your first EP. It's like it has to be big, it has to be this, has to be that. I don't know if I quite agree with it, but it does kind of live in the back of my mind where like, I'm like listening to my stuff and I'm like, is is this it? I don't know, like am I really ready? That's why it was kind of like this EP that I dropped, I would say is more like a soft launch of me like releasing music. And another thing is that my Stars We Don't See EP is not like mastered or anything. Like I it's just like beats that I made on my machines and I just uploaded uploaded them to. I didn't use a DAW or anything. Like my setup is just like machines. I don't know how to use like Ableton or Logic or anything like that. So it's just like it feels very like raw in that sense. Like I don't know if it meets like the criteria to be like a fully published work of art, maybe. I don't know.
Who's gaslighting you?
Oh yeah,
That's
good
my
question.
first question. Like, who is gaslighting you?
Good question. Good
I
question.
think if it's ready for you, put it
Yeah,
out. You know,
right.
a
Hmm.
lot of music is, I guess, deeper in the industry or whoever, people who just care about, metrics and whatever, or trying to be famous
Mm,
or whatever. Overthink the music releasing process.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
major labels, like if they sign an artist, right? Like they wait for them to be ready as far as like
Right.
if they're ready to market it or whatever it is. But honestly, out if you're not in that world and
Hmm.
you think your music is ready to be heard, by all means, share it with people.
Sure.
If
Sure.
you
Yeah.
if you want, it's all to you. You're in control. You're in the driver's seat. Don't let anyone tell you like if you think a song, if you're making a song and you don't think it's ready, it has to be from you. Like you have to
Right.
think that it's ready or not.
Mm.
At this point, do you think that? Do you think your music is ready to be heard?
I feel like this like particular uh set of songs that I've released, I feel like such a sense of pride that I've never felt about anything that I ever created before because I can listen like I listen to it for my own like just for fun and I'm like wow this this goes like you know what I mean like
Yeah, yeah.
um and like what was I gonna say? I can listen to each one and just like remember where I was like at that point in time when I made it, and that feels like very special to me. Whereas like some other beats may just be like kind of throwaway things. Um, so yeah, the only sense that maybe it might not be ready is like what I was talking about with it. Maybe the mixing or the mastering is not because I don't really have an ear for that. You know, like I said, I'm a hobbyist. I'm not a audio professional or audiophile in any way. So I don't know. To my untrained ear, perhaps it's not there in that sense, but I could like send it to like a mastering friend and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
push it more. I don't know.
I'm a hobbyist myself.
Mm,
I'm a hobbyist podcaster, right? But I feel like if we just generally speaking, not talking about your process at all, but
mm.
like, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, you probably overthink some things too. Like
Yeah,
I'm an
absolutely.
overthinker,
Hmm.
but I think sometimes if we let ourselves get drowned in that, it's going to stifle our creativity.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at the same time, we have to know, yeah, like to us, like there's certain episodes that I've recorded, generally speaking, and I was like, I don't want to put this out. It sucks. But
Right, right.
I made that decision. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we all have to just for us hobbyists, they're not really connected to like our work is not tied to industry. We should
Sure,
just
yeah.
like focus on painting our canvases. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm totally there. It's I think perfectionism does hold me back in a lot of ways where I just like even with my content and videos, I post maybe one video a month and it's because of how like focused I am on every single aspect of it and like even if the lighting is off a little bit or like there's like one frame where I just like don't like the way it looks and I have to redo the whole thing like it takes me forever to do things and it was also a struggle with this EP like because I think about like things like, oh, like what if somebody's listening to this like on a really shitty speaker? Like I want it to sound as good as possible in that sphere. So like I'll play the beats over and over on like different speakers to see how it sounded and like tweaking like little things to like try to make it sound good on like every like situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um so yeah, that's why things take me so long to do and to finish. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but just the Marsanne social account,
Mm,
it has a pretty large following. Like, how
does,
did
yes.
do you have any like rhyme or reason like why that may be?
Um, I think for people have told me, you know, throughout my time making videos, like what they really like about my content, and what a lot of it seems to be related to is kind of just the fact that it is a pretty stark contrast to the typical sort of like vibe of producer content in general, which tends to be not only just like male dominated, but kind of condescending and not fun, like lacking fun. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, it can be a very stuffy corner of the internet, like the world of music making content, I guess. And I do agree with that. Like, 'cause when I was learning how to use certain equipment, I would have to search tutorials and I don't know, I'd be watching the videos. I'm like, there's nothing like really inspiring about this, or there's nothing fun about this. And for me, like, I make music because it's fun. And I think that gets like that sense of fun can get lost for a lot of people, especially producers who are making music on like a laptop, or a computer. Like, it I feel like you can really lose that sense of discovery and creativity by just like staring at a DAW for hours and like going through the list of the perfect snare, looking for the perfect snare. And it's like you lose you lose sight of why you started doing it in the first place. So I think because I have like a fun first philosophy in all my videos, and I try to like promote um, just experimenting and you know things like that in all my content. I think that's kind of what people are drawn to, and it's great. Like it's really my only goal is to inspire people to make music. That's why I didn't release music for so long. Like, that wasn't my goal. It's just to like I'm learning how to do this, and I want it to inspire other people how to do it as well. You know.
Absolutely. The one thing that drew me to your work is two things.
Mm,
You operate in two spaces that I'm passionate about, music and gaming.
yeah, yeah.
I love it. Like even games that I like some of my favorite, franchises of all time, like Ratchet and Clank.
Mm,
You've played around with that score as well, and I really love that. And the way you put out music, sometimes like I feel bad when I talk to you about like, oh, how come you don't have an album or something like that. But it's like,
it's okay.
but it's fine because
You're not the
like
only one. Like, I was really surprised, but when I made that little announcement, like, "Hey, I dropped this," people were like, "Finally, let's go!" And I was like,
I was one of
"Yo."
those people. I was definitely one of those people.
Thank
But
you, thank you.
again, after, I try not to like totally harp on that because I liked what you were doing. Even
Mm-hmm.
if you never put out an album or anything of the sorts, um, I loved what you were doing and it was so creative. And I like creativity. And again, I love the fact that you're saying you're having so much fun doing this.
Yeah, yeah,
That's great. I hope you keep going with that. I hope that, it seems like a lot of people are enjoying your stuff, which is great. I
yeah.
hope
It's
that yeah.
it's a great feeling. Yeah. If I ever stopped having fun, then I think I would just probably stop making content, unfortunately. But I don't think I ever will because I don't know. I'm just so passionate about like I love that like similar to you, I'm very passionate about games and music, and I think it's like the fact that I've found a way to kind of combine all of my passions and like video editing as well. Like I feel like I'm successful at what I do because I also like have a passion for just like like actually making content, which like a lot of musicians I feel like can't say the same, which is really unfortunate because it's like oh you make such good music, but like the algorithm like you have to like really like you have to know how to game like Instagram to like really like get your stuff out there. I wish I could like do like a crash course in like I probably could do a crash course in video editing for like all my musician friends. I'm like, you got to get your stuff out there. But it's like it's like it's so lame that like you have to be both if you want to be successful in that space. You know what I mean? Like be a musician and be like a content creator. I'm just doing it because it's like a hobby, but for some people, it's like their careers really hinge on that.
Yeah.
Um, no, but yeah, like I was saying, like it's all just like a combination of things that I really love, and I'm really glad that it resonates with people, and it's just like a really fun hobby for me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when it comes to like the standard streaming service platforms, right? Like the
Mm.
Spotify's and Apple Music, do you have any specific reservations on putting your stuff out there? Or it's just like you just feel like, you know what, let me just release it out in small doses and not just put it everywhere all at once?
I think I really couldn't tell you what my reservation is. Um, for a first release, I don't know. It's really hard to get over the trepidation of it all. Like, you know, like I said, I guess I was gaslit for so long um into thinking that my first release had to be like some big thing. Um, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get over it in the next couple of weeks and just get on DistroKid or whatever whatever they're using. That's like I feel like that's the other thing. Like I'm like I don't even know how to do it.
That's right. That's right. There's CD Baby and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
it's complicated.
So yeah, I guess I have to like do some research and maybe you will see it on the streaming services within the next couple months.
Listen, if you just stay on Bandcamp forever, I'm cool with that too, because I listen to Bandcamp a ton. So
Yeah, I think Bandcamp is great, and I was really surprised like with like the setting up the payments and everything. I was like it was so easy. Like it's like man, like
yeah.
Bandcamp is awesome.
There's so many artists, that do similar things as yourself that are just all going direct to consumer anyway. Like
Mm,
Alchemist famously, there's an interview that he did that sort of went viral, and he just talked about I just go direct to consumer.
yeah,
I
yeah,
put myself on Bandcamp and then that's it. But if he's working with a bigger artist like a Freddie Gibbs, that goes
sure,
through like
yeah,
the proper channels,
hmm
right? The major, at least the not proper, like the bigger channels. But
yeah,
outside of that, he's going right to his people, you know?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the other thing too is like for me I'm more like I always considered myself for a long time, like at least I'm like more of a content creator than a musician. So if I'm ever gonna like make money off of this, it's gonna be from like doing content. I don't want it to be from the music itself. So I don't ever see myself like charging money for music, which is why I just like uploaded to Bandcamp and SoundCloud and did the free download or whatever. I just want people to be able to have that for free because like it's not like a product. Like, you know, like my job is like making content is how I see it. So you guys can like have the music like it's free just like that take it you know what I mean like um if I'm ever gonna make money it's gonna be from like making videos.
Well, let's talk about, the two things we love, right?
Mm,
So music and games, right? So I want to start with music first.
sure, yeah.
Who do you listen to a ton? And of those artists that you listen to a lot, like how many of them do you look up to that inspire you creatively?
Sheesh, I would say like the first artist that somebody who I've listened to like is like thousands of hours and really is the first artist whose music I heard and was like, wow, I would really love to do something like this uh is JPEG Mafia.
Wow.
Um, and I just like his beats are so experimental and interesting and just like sometimes really overstimulating and just wild and there's so much creativity there. Like that's kind of like what got me to kind of like look into like what even is like music production because this is not anything like I've ever heard before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so I guess like in terms of like artists I listen to, who I look up to and I'm inspired by, he's like probably the number one. Also Toro y Moi, I would put up there. Um, I saw him live like about 2 years ago now, and I was really just like it really hit me when I go like I didn't really consider myself like I'm such a big Toro y Moi fan. Like I've listened to him for years, but like I wound up at his concert and as he was going through his set, I just realized like I knew every single song like like word for word, it's like he's just an artist who's been with me for so long, and I realized like I've really internalized his like a lot of his sound and his style and stuff, and I'm like, wow, this artist actually has like a way bigger impact on me than I thought. Um, so yeah, I would put him maybe like number two. Uh, Blood Orange, number three, great producer, great vibes, great, really versatile, like has like so covers so many different styles. I don't know, he's great. That's like top three for me, I would say. Like artists I listen to a ton and I'm super inspired by.
Yeah, yeah. How do you discover music? Like, how is music brought to you?
Mm, honestly, like for a while, like when I was young, it was like Tumblr,
Oh yeah,
like music blogs on Tumblr, like
yeah.
really got me there. And then I guess another way that I really like to discover music is just by reading like interviews from artists I like, and like whenever they mention like this album was inspired by such and such, I always like have to look up, and like I kind of end up following like a paper trail of like, okay, this was inspired by this and this was inspired by this, and I go down like a rabbit hole. Like I love I've discovered so much music from just like those like Nardwar
Love
interviews. Like,
him.
you know what? Yeah, like you know what I mean? Like he'll pull out some random record. I'm like, I have to know what made that record special to that artist that I really like. So I, wind up listening to it. Also like those like Amoeba, like What's in My Bag type interviews, like
Absolutely.
those are like the types of things where I really discover like the music that I really gel with.
You brought up Tumblr. I
Mm,
remember like that's how I discovered like shoegaze music and My
yeah,
Bloody
yeah, yeah,
Valentine.
yeah.
Like going like talking to some people like they're in certain kind of groups. I thought shoegaze was a band, but
Yeah.
the way it was is the way it was discussed online. It sounded like it was a specific band, but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it opened my world to My Bloody Valentine and all
hmm
that
hmm
ride, slow dive, all that. Now I'm obsessed with this stuff.
Yeah, Tumblr was,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a great tool for discovering music. I remember like there was this one phenomenon on Tumblr where like if you had a blog dedicated to a certain like fandom or like a specific topic, like the trend was to like name your blog like F yeah, this subject, like, F yeah, supernatural.tumblr.com or whatever.
I
Uh
followed FES Springfield
yeah, F yeah,
because for
Springfield, yeah.
Simpson stuff. Yeah.
That's amazing. But like I remember one of the ones I followed in high school was like it was called like F yeah, good music. And I just like would listen to every song they posted, and I can't tell you how many like artists I probably know today because it was on that blog.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Nardwar, same.
hmm
He's a music nerd, and when I first started interviewing people, like I kind of like was inspired by him, maybe a little
hmm
bit too much, because he would find very obscure details about people, and I
Right, right, right,
thought
right.
that's what made a good interview. But like that was his style.
Right, right,
Quickly, I
right, right.
realized that's not my style. Let me just
Right,
talk to people.
right, 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 right.
But again, still a huge influence on me, and I love him to death.
He's the best.
Yeah, yeah. So when it comes to video games, right?
Mm,
Another shared passion of ours. What are you playing? What games do you love? Wait, tell me this. Tell me stuff that you're playing now and some of your all-time favorite stuff and maybe if their scores influence you at all.
sure. There was just a Switch 2 update for Animal Crossing, so I got back into that heavy, started like a new island fresh.
Yeah.
Um, that's been taking up a lot of my gaming time, which I've tried to like reduce significantly because I'm trying to be more productive with music and stuff, but I try to always make time for games too. Um, but yeah, so I got back into that. I started playing through the HD remakes of Dragon Quest,
Oh.
which I never like I was fully dipped my toes into Dragon Quest growing up, but I remember playing, I think it was Dragon Quest, whichever one was on the DS. It might have been 13, Dragon Quest Sentinels of the Starry Skies, it was called. And I really liked that game, even though I didn't really know much about the world or the lore, just like the gameplay and the visuals to me were like really fun, and that always stuck with me. So I decided because they're remaking like the entire series in HD, that I would go through them. So I started with one, now I'm on two. Um, they're really great.
Wow.
Um, in terms of like all-time faves, um, the original Spyro trilogy
Love
on
it.
PlayStation, like and the score as well by Stuart Copeland. He's the drummer of the Police, and he made the scores. I don't know if you knew that.
I heard
Um,
about that. Yeah.
yeah, he's those like really formative like scores for me. Especially the third one, Year of the Dragon.
That's my favorite.
Uh, yeah. Oh my God. Like the game is so fun. Like the skateboarding part is
It's
so good.
great.
Yes.
It's like it's charmingly clunky.
It is. Yeah. But if you play the Toys for Bob remake from a couple years ago,
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
it's
have that
so
too.
yeah, just, like it's so the way it looks is so clean and man, like I just really cherish those games. I mentioned Portal 2 earlier. That is also a really like formative score for me. The score goes crazy. Just like it is like it's a master work in electronic music to me. Like I think it's a really great score. Um, and I think it was like one of the first games that I probably like played from start, like first story game like that I played from start to finish. I was like maybe 12 or 13 when that game came out. And I was really like proud of myself for like wrapping my brain around all the puzzles and things like that. Um, I have to shout out Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Black and White. Uh, I listened to the hell out of those scores when I was a kid.
Wow.
Um, Pokemon was like my real like hyper fixation growing up. Like could not have a conversation about anything else even if I tried when I was like 8 years old. You know what I mean? Like it is Pokemon was all I cared about for the longest time.
Yeah.
Um, I still care about it a lot, obviously, but
Yeah, the original games, the Game Boy games, like Blue, Yellow,
mm,
and all that, and later on Game Boy Advance, Sapphire and
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
and Ruby, those like that's when I played it the most.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I would never was. It seems to me like you have a lot of a lot more RPG experience than
mm,
I do. I was more of the platformer fighting games
okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
racing games too, and then later like the shooters like like Halo and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
But right now I'm playing Metroid Prime.
Oh, nice, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because I never had a GameCube growing up, but I've always
Mm,
wanted to play it. But Metroid, kind of intimidated me because it's not a game where it's like, okay, Spyro, you go to this world, then you go to that world, or Crash
mm,
Bandicoot, level one, level
yeah,
two.
yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's not that kind of game. Like, you really have to just kind of figure it out and go explore. And for a while, it's like, I don't want to play that. But I'm obsessed with it. It's
yeah.
fantastic. And the music of it is
Oh
just,
my God,
it's
yeah.
incredible.
I've been watching streams of Metroid Prime 4, the new one.
Hmm.
Um, and every time a new track comes up, like a new like piece of music, I'm like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
this is just like they're really great at like creating that just like the vibey atmosphere of Metroid is so it's so captivating.
Yeah, yeah. I can't believe like the influence of Metroid kind of formed its own genre,
Hmm.
Metroidvania, right? Like,
Hmm.
have you played Animal Well? You know about that game?
Oh, I do know Animal World from Donkey's
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Big Mode? Big Mode.
Big Mode. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. Yep,
Hmm.
yep. That's another very interesting game, very bare bones. There's no like it's really just pure agency for the
Yeah,
player.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
go explore. Fascinating game. Honestly, like when I'm watching your work on socials and seeing everything that you're putting together and sharing and now in album form,
Mm.
do you think of yourself as a confident person?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, like I think I always have been a confident person, or at least like I I don't ha like I lack like shame. You know what I mean? Like I've never really felt afraid to put myself out there, like in any situation, even when I was like a really little kid and like middle school. Like I wasn't like I was obviously like a very nerdy kid and I didn't quite fit in, but it never bothered me. You know what I mean? Like it didn't bother me that kids didn't really fuck with me. Like you know, like I
Hmm.
just was happy with myself and So I guess when you say like when I say I'm confident, I don't mean like I am actively thinking positive things about myself, but I also just never question myself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to making content, it's like I never had any reservations about what people might think. You know, I think that's kind of what holds a lot of people back when they think they might want to like make videos or do anything online. It's like, oh, like what are people going to think of me? It never crossed my mind. It's like I don't really care. You know what I mean? You kind of just have to throw all those reservations away and just do it.
Yeah, yeah. When I'm watching your stuff, it takes a lot of confidence to do what you do because you're
Mm,
essentially like you said earlier, like you're practicing in front of everyone,
hmm.
and you're figuring it out as you go,
Yeah, yeah.
which is amazing. That takes a ton of confidence to do. Like I don't put an episode out until I know it's ready, but like
Mm,
you're just doing it in front of everyone. It's very raw. That's
yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's also just like a way for me to like have like like a something to look back on when I want to remind myself of like where I've been and how I got to like where I am. I like sometimes those like my old videos are really hard to watch. And a lot of videos I've taken down and just deleted because I'm like, okay, this can't be on the internet anymore. But it's like, it is cool in a way to be able to see like, man, like I like it's nice to have a reminder that I have made such tangible progress in what I do. So I'm glad that like even when I was really, really just starting out and I made, some really shitty beats that I still put them out there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think whatever you decide to do with your work, either you just you stick to Instagram or you keep putting out more albums, whatever you do, I'll be watching because
Thank
I'm a fan
you.
of your work. I think
That's so
it's
nice.
great what
Thank you
you're
so
doing.
much.
I love it. Please tell people where they can hear Stars We Don't
Hmm.
See and anything
Yeah,
else you got going on.
my EP Stars We Don't See is on Bandcamp. You can find it under the name Marsanne. It's also on SoundCloud and Nina Protocol. Just search Marsanne, it'll come up. And you can follow me. I mainly post on Instagram at Marsanne with three N's on Instagram. Uh, Anything else I got going on? I just got a creator badge for PAX East. I'll be at PAX.
Shut up.
Yep, let's go. Catch me at PAX East making some, I don't know what content I'm gonna make there, but it'll be fun.
That's fantastic.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I got the notification today.
Wow. So you're gonna see, like what's coming out and as far as a gaming is concerned too. So that's nuts.
I can't wait.
That is so cool. Oh wow. So happy for you,
Thank
Mia. That's
you. Thank
amazing.
you.
All right. I want to thank you so much for coming on My Little
Thanks. Yeah, it
Underground.
was
It's
so
amazing.
fun.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally did it.
Yeah, for sure.
My little underground.